What is up, guys? This is Jared Spalding here, and for today I've got another heavy topic for you guys, and that is, will the oil industry collapse in the near future? Now, when I say oil industry, please note that I'm also talking about coal, as well as like nuclear factories, basically anything that's a non-renewable resource that we're getting energy from. Now, this is one of the videos, probably one of the few videos, where I'm hoping that people do have opposing opinions to me and other people in the comment section to spark some debate on the topic, to get this topic really into the light of my viewers, and just to see what you guys think about it. Of course, I'm always, like I said in my channel description, I'm delighted to hear your opinions, so let me know what you think in the comment section. But let's just get started on this. So you have to remember here, at least in my personal opinion, there's a few factors that go into whether or not this industry is going to collapse. For one, you have to consider the availability. Now, as of now, we are seeing dwindling supplies of oil and coal and that type of thing. However, if you look at Alaska, the amount of oil that's in that state alone is probably enough to power the world for the next, at least 10 years, if not more. That is a conservative estimate. So clearly this industry can survive for at least a little bit longer, and will survive and continue to make billions of dollars a year. Possibly trillions, probably over $1 trillion a year this industry makes. So, it's definitely not going to die out necessarily. And if you look at the results of 2014 for, percentages of non-renewable compared to renewable resources used, unfortunately the results for 2015 are not in yet. But as for 2014, at least in the U.S., 10% of all energy generated came from renewable resources, which is a step up from 2013, of course. But that's still not quite where you want to be if you want to see it diminish in the growth of greenhouse gases that are floating in the atmosphere, in that area, the stratosphere, that general area, just because of the fact that we are still using a lot of oil and coal. And as more people come into the earth, even if more people start, or a larger percentage I should say, of people start using renewable resources, if I could speak here today for you guys, but if more people, even if a larger percentage starts using renewable resources, as more and more people are born, there's still more people that are going to be also using non-renewable, and at this rate, 9 out of 10 people are still using non-renewable resources. So it's definitely a number that you want to see changed. However, I do have to remember a lot of jobs will be destroyed for people who are working in the industry, and a lot of people who are billionaires and have a lot of control are not going to just let this happen, So it's definitely something to consider here. But in terms of the industry collapsing, it definitely has enough oil and coal left in the ground to survive for at least a little bit longer. And due to the fact that oil is so much more efficient in generating electricity compared to how much effort it creates to, or it needs to create that electricity, it generates a lot more, has a much higher power output compared to how much effort it needs to be, for the work to be done to generate this into electricity. Because the way basically that every one of your electricity plants works is in, for some way, whether it's coal, nuclear power plants, or whatever source you have, it's going to be powering turbines which generate electricity. A hydroelectric dam is a little bit different. It's water, but the water still turns the turbines, and then this turning motion is captured in a much smaller wheel, and then that's electricity is put into a generator, where it is stored and then sent out to the public. But these turbines are going to be turning a lot faster from the steam created in a for example, a coal factory or a nuclear power plant, due to how much faster these turbines are, or how much faster steam is coming out and spinning the turbines. So it creates a lot more electricity, which is one of the big reasons why, of course, non-renewable resources are so much more successful, and they are still available, and people in these big companies are thinking, well, I'm still making money now, and for 10 years if I can still be making billions, I really don't care. I'm going to be set for life, basically. So, and of course, they're not thinking about the environmental impacts of this. Now, I think in the next 20 years, you're probably going to be seeing pretty much all the oil excavated from the earth that there is. And I also believe that you're going to see, at that point, about half of all people using, your renewable resources at this point, or at least to a degree, using renewable sources of electricity, and solar panels, biomass, geothermal, things like that. I believe it's going to be around half of people, and I think that by that point, the oil industry is going to be taking a big hit, and I think by 2040, I would probably say, is when you're going to start to see the decline. 24 years from now, yeah, that'd be 24 years from now. But I think by 2050 to 2060, I think the oil industry is not even going to be making enough money at this point for it to be worth anyone's time or effort. I think that's really when you're going to see the collapse. So maybe not in the near future, but it's going to probably take another generation or so before it completely dies out. But of course, if these really bad environmental impacts really start to come to light, then people might want to, consider stopping it altogether much sooner, which in that case it will probably collapse in the near future, just due to the fact that, you're seeing the polar ice caps melt so quickly, and it's believed that in 20 years or so, Florida could be completely submerged. Taj Mahal is sinking, Venice is sinking, there's a lot of areas where the water is rising and causing a lot of destruction, a lot more money worth in a short period of time than how much oil is sold probably in a year. If you're talking about all of Venice getting destroyed, that's billions of dollars, and probably more than most people are making off of oil, especially in that short period of time. And these big companies certainly aren't going to be willing to pay it up. So someone's going to have to pay the price ultimately for their pay the consequences for their actions. And I do think you are going to see a huge decline, if either naturally or if global warming continues to be a threat, which of course it will. But if it continues to get worse and worse like this, then you're probably going to see the fuels dying out pretty quickly. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's it for this one. Peace, love, and much respect.